Welcome back. You're watching WION World is One. I'm Shivan Chandna. This is Speed News. Let's begin. Cars burned on the streets of Los Angeles as thousands of protesters marched in response to President Trump's extraordinary deployment of the National Guard. A major freeway was blocked and autonomous vehicles set alight as local law enforcement used tear gas and rubber bullets to control the crowd. Some police patrolled the streets on horsebacks, while others with riot gear lined up behind guard troops, which are deployed to protect federal facilities, including a detention center where some immigrants were taken in recent days. The clashes came on the third day of protests against Trump's immigration crackdown in the region. Trump has vowed that order will be restored and Los Angeles will be set free following widespread protests triggered by federal immigration raids. Taking to social media platform Truth Social, Trump said, and I quote here, "Violent insurrections and these mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents, but these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve." Meanwhile, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom criticized the move, calling it unnecessary and inflammatory. Israeli forces have taken command of a charity vessel that had tried to break a naval blockade of the Gaza Strip, and the boat, with its crew of 12, including activist Greta Thunberg. The British-flagged yacht Madeleine, which is operated by the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, was aiming to deliver aid to Gaza and raise international awareness of the humanitarian crisis in the region. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz ordered the military on Sunday to prevent the Madeleine from reaching Gaza, calling the mission a propaganda effort in support of Hamas. Statement by the Freedom Flotilla Coalition said that its vessel was quote-unquote forcibly intercepted by Israeli military in international waters. The Israeli military claims that it has identified the body of Mohammed Sinwar, the head of Hamas' armed wing, and this is about 3 weeks after he was said to have been killed in an airstrike. In a statement, the army said that his body was located in the underground tunnel route beneath the European hospital in Gaza's second largest city of Khan Yunis. The army also said that during the searches in the tunnel route, several items belonging to Sinwar were found, along with additional intelligence findings that have been transferred for further investigation. Iran has warned that it would reduce its cooperation with the United Nations nuclear watchdog if an anti-Iran resolution is passed at an upcoming meeting of the world body. The statement was made by the spokesman for Iran's Atomic Energy Organization after he was questioned on how Tehran would respond if the resolution is passed by the International Atomic Energy Agency's Board of Governors meeting, which is due to start today. And Russia is about to take over the city of Sumy. This is 3 years after facing a pushback from Ukrainian forces. The Russian military units have been making advances in the northern region and are reported to be within 29 kilometers of Sumy. Located 200 miles northeast of Kiev, the city of Sumy was never captured by Russia during the entirety of the conflict. This, however, has changed as various settlements surrounding it have since fallen into Russia's fold. with a presence of 50,000 Russian troops along the Sumy front. Russia is now closing in on the regional capital. The governor of the Ukrainian region has announced evacuations in 11 more villages near Sumy, with a total of 213 settlements now evacuated till date. A new round of talks aimed at resolving a trade war between the US and China is set to take place in London today. US President Donald Trump announced on Friday that a senior US delegation would meet Chinese representatives. Over the weekend, China has also confirmed that Vice Premier He Lifeng will attend the talks. The announcements came after Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping had a phone conversation last week, which the US president described as a very good talk. And a plane carrying 20 people crashed in Coffee County, Tennessee, as per the statement by the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Federal Aviation Administration. 4 people were injured after the twin-engine skydiving plane crashed. Local media reported that the crashed plane was used for skydiving expeditions. Coffee County officials have urged the public to stay away from the crash site. Italy is holding a referendum on easing citizenship rules and strengthening labour laws. The 2-day-long voting began on Sunday with Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's government opposing both the reforms as she urged the people to abstain. Meloni and members of her ruling coalition said in advance that they would abstain from voting. While the move was widely criticised by the left parties as anti-democratic, Prime Minister Meloni spoke to workers at the polling station in Rome but did not collect her ballot paper. This abstention could render the voting invalid, which is 51% of the eligible voters. Colombian Senator Miguel Uribe, who was shot in the head during a political rally in Bogota, is in a critical condition and is fighting for his life as of now. According to a statement from the hospital, Miguel underwent a neurosurgical procedure and surgery on his left thigh and remains in intensive care. Hundreds of protesters gathered outside the hospital in a show of solidarity for Miguel. The 39-year-old senator is a member of the opposition Conservative Democratic Center Party. Miguel, a strong critic of Petro, had announced last October his intention to run for the 2026 presidential election. Marking a milestone moment for India's newest deep-water port, the world's biggest container ship, MSC Irina, docked at Vizhinjam International Seaport in Kerala today. The vessel's arrival is the first time a container ship of this size has called at an Indian port, and it puts Vizhinjam firmly on the global shipping map. MSC Irina holds the record for the highest container capacity in the world. Extremely unfortunate news emerging from Mumbai. Several commuters travelling towards Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus fell off the train at Thane's Mumbai railway station due to excessive crowd this morning. While an investigation into the Mumbai train accident has begun, the reason for the accident is believed to be excessive crowd in the train. And in a major breakthrough in Meghalaya tourist murder case, the Meghalaya police on Monday said they have arrested the wife of an Indore man, Raja Raghuvanshi, who was allegedly murdered during their honeymoon in the state. The police said that the woman, who had been missing for nearly 2 weeks, allegedly hired a group of killers to murder her husband just days after their marriage in Madhya Pradesh. The wife, Sonam, surrendered to police in Uttar Pradesh, Ghazipur, while 3 other suspects were arrested during overnight raids. A 9-year-old girl was raped, murdered, and her body was stuffed in a suitcase in New Delhi's Dayalpur area. A case has been registered under relevant sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita dealing with murder, and also under Section 6 of the POCSO Act. The accused is still on the run. 6 teams have been formed to investigate, with raids being conducted in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh to nab the accused. According to reports, the suitcase in which the girl was found is in an unconscious state was found on the 2nd floor of a flat in Nehru Vihar hours after her family launched a hunt for her. She died later while being taken to the hospital. Thousands of Muslims gathered at the Grand Mosque in Mecca to perform the farewell tawaf and masar rituals, marking the final stages of the annual Hajj pilgrimage. The atmosphere was filled with prayers, reflection and gratitude as devotees circled the Kaaba, recited prayers and completed the symbolic walk between the hills of Safa and Marwa. For many, it is the culmination of a deeply spiritual and transformative journey as pilgrims of all nationalities move in unison around the Kaaba. A yellow alert has been sounded for heatwave conditions in isolated places in New Delhi for today and tomorrow, with the mercury expected to reach as high as 45 degrees Celsius. Delhi and surrounding areas in northwest India are bracing for a scorching week as monsoon rains are expected to remain stalled over central India during this period. On Sunday, Delhi hit a sweltering 42.1 degrees Celsius. This is the first time in 17 days the mercury crossed 40 degrees. Humidity levels were as high as 70% in the previous night across New Delhi. Rainfall is expected to arrive only after a week, which means no immediate relief from this heat wave. A global summit on the dire state of the oceans has kicked off in France with demands to ban bottom trawling and expand marine protections. The UN Ocean Conference in the French city of Nice seeks concrete plans and funding to address what organizers call a marine emergency. The call for unity comes as nations clash over a plastics treaty and the US resists deep sea mining rules. Oil prices slipped slightly on Monday but held on to last week's strong gains. Brent crude was near $66.41 and WTI traded at $64.54. This was supported by optimism around US-China trade talks. The talks follow a rare Trump-Xi Jinping call with hopes that easing tensions could boost global growth and fuel demand. Despite OPEC Plus planning supply hikes, demand optimism and US job data kept oil buoyant. China's crude imports dipped to a 4-month low, while Canadian wildfires and falling US rig counts added to supply concerns. Gold prices edged down slightly on Monday with spot gold at around $3,300 an ounce. Investors turned cautious ahead of US-China trade talks in London. Optimism over easing tensions along with a stronger than expected US jobs report reduced bets on multiple Fed rate cuts this year. Analysts say gold could test support at almost $3,300. Meanwhile, China's central bank added gold for a 7th straight month, even as traders avoid aggressive positions before clearer signals on inflation and interest rates. Silver and platinum held steady, palladium slipped. And China's rare earth exports surged 23% in May, hitting a one-year high of 5,864 tons. The rebound comes despite ongoing export curbs on key minerals and magnets, which began in April. These restrictions have already disrupted global supply chains, halting auto production in Europe and threatening chip makers. A detailed breakdown of the export impacts is due June 20th. So far in 2025, total exports of the 17 key minerals rose slightly year on year to nearly 25,000 tons. Let's look. Last week's rare call between US and Chinese leaders focused heavily on these shortages.